This week I'm back in the studio building terrain. Check it out. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Crafting Brothers. Thanks for joining us. This week I'm back in the studio. It feels good. I've been doing miniatures for so long, it feels good to actually paint something and build something cool. So I'm going to show you how I built this. Let's check it out. This is a really nice piece called the Gate of the Dead. And although it looks pretty straightforward as far as printing goes, I did have my issues. I don't know what this is. I don't know why it happened. So this is what happens when you run out of filament in the middle of the night and wake up. That's right. No more filament. So after I finally got it to print, you can see it turned out really good. Nice detail, great sculpt. And I printed this out in dynamic quality, which is the better quality in Kira. But it took like 2 days, and it just took forever. So I decided to print the second art out in normal quality. And look what happened here. You can see all of the layer lines. It just did not come out as good, but I wasn't willing to print out another piece and take 2 days, so I just decided to go with it. I began the process of peeling off all of my brims and cleaning up the sidelines. I use an Olfa knife for this mainly because it just cuts really well in this plastic, and I just wanted to carve out all the little bits that might show up on the ground. Now, putting them side by side, you could really see the difference in those layer lines. I used E6000 to put it all together because I thought it worked really well on some of the previous pieces that I did. But sticking them together seemed to be a little bit of a problem because they don't always match perfectly. It's kind of hard to get it perfect. You can see there I use a piece of cardboard actually to raise up one side or the other just to kind of get it in there and make sure it all fits together perfectly. But after you get it together, it does work. So all that's left now is give it a flat black base coat, and then I'm going to sit back and let you just enjoy the paint job as it happens. Look at that. I think it's coming out fantastic so far. Now for the next part, I used the same technique I used in my keep video to put vines all around the outside, and I wanted to do this mainly to cover some of those mold lines, specifically the mold line that runs down the center of the piece. If you haven't seen that video, I'll link it in the description below, but basically you make homemade flocking using just cheap moss from the dollar store and Walmart. And I use twine to make the individual vines, and if you cut a few pieces of twine and unravel it, you can see it really starts to take a vine-like shape. Then you would take some spray adhesive and spray the vine and pour on your flocking. You would do this a bunch of times until you get the desired effect. It usually takes about 3 or 4 times to get the right amount of flocking on there. Now if you don't switch the papers like you see I'm doing here, you switch the papers, this happens. Look how much flocking I've wasted. That's not coming off. That's all stuck on there. That was from a video before, my keep video. So you just repeat, see how it works there? If you do it correctly, you can actually save the flocking for the next vine. So you repeat that process a whole bunch of times until you get the exact right vine look that you want. Now as for sticking the vine onto the piece, I like to use Crafter's Pick glue. It really is the best thing for this type of scenario. It's nice and thick and everything sticks perfectly. It's unbelievable. Thank you guys for joining me. This was a lot of fun, and I'll be back next week with another cool build or review or something cool. See you soon.